Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to talk about consecutive translation in medicine and its importance for patient care. So before we start our lesson, I would like to ask you a few questions, okay, related to medicine. And the first question is, why is translation important in medicine? What do you think?
For example, if one country doesn't know about the medicine well, another country they will know, they should be translated to another country.
Okay, Shakusa, what about you?
I think translation plays a pivotal role in any kind of fields. As you said, medicine, it is important, yeah. And the reason why I think, because we know that the specific words related to medicine is important, and in that kind of situation, translator should translate it from one language to another one, and such other words.
Yeah. And my second question is, what problems may occur if a doctor and the patient speak different languages? For example, so you're ill, yeah, and you go to the doctor, and he or she is a French or Italian doctor. So in that case, what kind of problem may occur between doctor and patient? Maya?
I think it's bad for patients because his or her illness really around the room.
So it's worse. Yes. Okay. Sure. Please.
Well, I think it can be quite challenging for both to the doctor and also for the patients, because building a strong communication between them is really quite essential process, because when doctor asks their diagnosis, like what they are suffering and what's their complaints, so if the patient doesn't understand or doesn't know how to tell them, then it can be quite hard for the doctor to diagnose them. So
I think it will correct treatment. Yeah, that's what it's okay. Thank you. And so imagine after 7 months, you are going to be an interpreter in the field of medicine. Yeah? And what do you think? What kind of skills or qualities you should have? In order to be so good at your profession.
Well, in my point of view, after several months, we become a translator, and in that time we should be know how to communicate well with someone and keep in touch with the patient.
Okay, yes. Okay, thank you.
Before we enter the field of medicine, we should first of all know the name of medicine, name of equipment, and some illnesses, because they are pretty difficult for interpreter. But it's maybe easy for doctors, maybe some physics maybe.
Okay, thank you. Well, now let's turn to our presentation and the critical need for accuracy in medical communication. So what do you think? What is accuracy? And also in translation. Accuracy stands for, okay, translation. What does it mean? Anaklon, yeah? So the critical need for accuracy. So in medical communication, accuracy is absolutely essential, yeah? Because medical translation is not only just translating words or terms, yeah, medical terms from one language into another. It's about protecting, yeah, the health and safety of patients, first of all, yeah? Okay, so if a medical term is translated incorrectly, so it may lead to some kind of misunderstandings, yeah, and between doctor and patient, and such misunderstandings leads to what?
Worse.
To bad treatment, incorrect treatment or serious medical complications, yeah. Okay, so another important factor, risk of error. Okay, so inaccurate terminology, yeah. Translating inaccurate terminology can result in severe misinterpretations, failed regulatory submissions, or a direct patient harm. Yeah. Okay. And the last one, specialized language. Translators and interpreters must be familiar with medical vocabulary in order to communicate information clearly and correctly. Yeah. Okay. So next one. So our next slide is about what is consecutive translation. Okay, we all know, yeah, what is consecutive translation, but here I want you to say that we have 4 steps, or 4 rules, yeah, of translating. Okay, so in this slide, what is consecutive translation? Okay, in previous lessons we talked about it, yeah? In the first lesson, so what is consecutive translation? So what is it, by the way? Consecutive translation?
It is a translation when the speaker translates any kind of words when someone pauses in their delivery.
Yeah. And after the pause, the interpreter translates the message into the target language. Yeah. Okay. And here you may see 4, let's say, rules. Yeah, of translating the medical terms correctly in consecutive translation. So first one is listen carefully. Yeah. So second one, the interpreter takes notes. Yeah, of the key points to remember important what? Information, yeah, or facts. Okay. And the third one, the interpreter delivers the translation accurately in the target language, and this process continues throughout the entire conversation. Yeah. Okay. Translation excels in medical settings. So, by the way, what is excels?
Good at.
Yeah.
Good at.
Okay. So, consecutive translation is particularly effective in medical environments. One reason is that the pauses in speech allow interpreters to ensure greater accuracy and clarity. Yeah. So they are synonyms, clarity and accuracy. So medical information can be complex, and interpreters need time to process it carefully. Yeah. Okay. So another advantage is that it's useful during sensitive. The slower pace. You know what is pace? Yes. Yeah. Slower pace allows patients to better understand. Yeah, the information. Yeah. Okay. And finally, consecutive translation or interpreter requires minimal equipment. Yeah, just you need a sheet of paper or notebook, yeah, and a pen. Okay, so next one. Here you may see the differences between consecutive versus simultaneous interpreting in medicine. Yeah, when we use consecutive and when we use simultaneous. So, in consecutive interpreting, the speaker makes pauses, yeah, and the interpreter translates after each segment of speech. So, what is segment? You know, yeah? Yes, whatever. Okay. So, this method is ideal for doctor-patient consultations and small meetings. Okay. And in simultaneous translation or interpreting, on the other hand, occurs when the interpreter translates at the same time. Yeah. Okay. As the speaker speaks. Yes. Okay. So this type usually requires special equipment, such as what? Headsets, and also special booths. Yeah. Special booths. Okay. And when we use simultaneous translation, mostly in conferences, yeah, large conferences and international medical events. Okay, in the next slide, we are going to talk about best applications for consecutive medical interpreting. Consecutive interpreting is used in several important medical situations. First, it's widely used during medical consultations, as I said before, yeah, where patients need to clearly understand their diagnosis and treatment plans. Okay, yeah? And second, it's used in legal situations related to healthcare, such as medical court hearings and depositions. And the third, it's useful for remote communication. So what is remote communication?
Far away.
Far away. It's by phone or video calls. Yeah? Okay, thank you. Another key factor in medical interpreting is professional expertise. Medical interpreters must have strong language skills. Yeah? Okay. And also knowledge of medical terminology, of course. So without this knowledge, it would be difficult to translate complex medical information correctly. And in many countries, interpreters must also have professional certifications and institutional credentials. Well, today, technology and artificial intelligence, AI, yeah, are increasingly used in translation, as you know, yeah? Okay, so AI tools help translate medical documents quickly and efficiently. They can process large amounts of data and sometimes achieve very high levels of accuracy. However, when it comes to direct communication between doctor and patient, human interpreters remain extremely important. Yeah? Okay, so human interpreters can understand emotions, feelings, that's it, yeah, context also, and cultural nuances, yeah? Which machines often cannot fully capture. I want to show you some medical verbs have some perfect vowels, yeah, and combining words. So these four parts of a word are nouns and in terms. You are going to perfect. So now, means yes, before, yeah, both after, both say and how under. So by being these prefixes may know the pleasure of some terms. Write down. Next one, the root word. Example, Adam, mother. The meaning doesn't mean it's land and example adjectives. Medical term. Okay. Carry, meaning her, cardiology. Yeah, related to her. Example, the skin and dermatology. Yeah, this is medical term. So write down. As you know, in we do some kind of translation, you have to So here is something related to medicine. Yeah? Example. This symbol means this. Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So in order not to write the sentence, yeah, in order to save your time and translate, yeah, related to example, the skin and dermatology. Yeah. So write down. As you know, in we do some kind of translation, you have to. So here is something related to medicine. Yeah? Example. This symbol means this. Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So in order not to write the sentence, yeah, in order to save your time and translate, you use kind of symbols. And also, what about this one? Exactly. Okay, you say right. Pain is symbol, and also symbols plus or minus. Plus means fever, for example, fever plus cough. You know, not to add the word. Just you put plus. Okay. And so abbreviation PT is for patient. Doctor, medicine, etc. So write down. So now I'm to write to say. Now I'm going to read some sentences and you take those. Okay, and then we will play. Well. First, the high fever and severe headache. We will conduct a test. Okay. Now, can you repeat?
Patient has high fever, severe headache.
Yes. I'm going to read some sentences and you take those. Okay, and then we will play. Well, first, the high fever and severe headache. We will conduct a test. Okay. Now, can you repeat?
Patient has high fever, severe headache.
Yes. We will conduct a test. Okay, thank you. Our next exercise is how we are to one will be done. Yeah. And okay. So here the so my mother doctor I have had starting today. Doctor, patient, and one interpretation. So please. However, I have start. Our next exercise is a vocabulary quiz. You have to answer these questions. Pain usually characterized as what? Unexplained, probably treatable, or sudden and quick pain. Acute pain. So which one? Okay, easily treatable. Having one part of the body with arm. The nose. Nose. Okay. Yes, correct. Next one. Defibrillators are used when there is a problem with what body part.
No.
Yes, you're right. The patella is more commonly known as what? The body, the lower group, Adam cell, and everything. And you have to divide into 3 teams. You may give a good name to the team. Let me explain the rule. Here you may see the sections, health system, for example, medical terminology, first aid, and points 100, 200, even to 500. Is it clear? So if you you may choose medical terminology and 200, and here we have a question. Okay. So give the name of your team. Now, doctors, now it's your turn to choose here the sections. Okay, which one?
200.
Which one?
Medical terminology.
200. Okay. So before labor or childbirth. You have to say medical terminology. Yeah? Okay. Pregnancy. Yes. Okay, let's check the answer. Today we will about here and practices diet. Accurate interpretation is essential because it helps doctors and patients understand each other clearly. Yeah? Okay. Now write down your home task. So at home you have to make a short diet. Okay. Doctor, patient, and then here we're going to translate. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.